Dude, I love that music so much. I love it. I just think it's so good.
I love Lamp.
Very constructive, thank you, Asa. You added a lot to the situation.
I
Um,
love Lamp.
all right. Well, yeah,
Asa, are you just looking around the room and
yes,
naming things you see?
that's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing.
That's true.
All right, so thank you again for joining us. This is the next session of Trust Falls, the new episode that we're working on here. And let's do just a quick little session of group therapy, as we like to call it. Starting with Drew.
Spinning that wheel, seeing where it lands on.
Drew.
Okay.
We should get a
On
wheel now and just.
a graphic to stick in there. On is On's heading down a weird place because things are happening around him, and he's able to maintain a certain level of detachment from things, but he's making himself get involved, uh, mostly due to growing relationships with those around about him. So he's caring more about Twin Harbors and what's happening there. But he knows that on an intellectual level, at any time, he could just cut his losses, move somewhere else, and just continue examining the human mortal condition. But he doesn't. He is rather emotionally charged when it comes to Twin Harbors and the situation going on there, which has sort of funneled him into taking more risky maneuvers, like charming people, controlling their minds, and stuff, to achieve his ends. So he is likely going to be making good use of this break, visiting this island and actually trying to get a bit of rest and relaxation, getting to know people, and building relations with Alton and Eigner a bit closer. To sort of given that anchor something to hold on to so he doesn't slip into the darkness. Yeah, I think that's kind of where On's at. That and he's endlessly fascinated by the technology of these gnomes. They have plumbing.
You mean halflings?
Half elves or halflings.
I do mean halflings.
Don't
Racist.
Don't be
Rewind.
insensitive.
I said halflings. You heard gnomes. You're the racist.
Wow. Wow.
Wasn't it? Weren't you the one in Tales of the City Watch that was called out the wood elf, or was that
I can't remember
Doug?
if that was me or Doug.
Yeah.
It might have been me.
Of course, of course. Well, I might go with Eigner's perspective right now. Eigner's got this kind of interesting perspective because at the beginning of the last session, when they met on the docks and Eigner was talking to Eridu and Onn, he actually was coming to them with his perspective where he was saying, I just came down here to say hi to you guys, but I don't really know if I can go with you on this new like harebrained adventure or whatever it is that Alton is scheming. He was just feeling very like non-committal, just feeling very like he just couldn't take it right now, you know. But got talked into it like he always does, and he's a little bit skeptical about the situation and skeptical about this whole premise of their team learning to work together better. But he is going to see what happens. And also is hiding some crazy stuff, especially the Zarkon thing that we talked about in length just recently. The whole Zarkon thing is like very interesting and very laden with consequences. And Egner is not sure how to tell the rest of the guys about it.
Oh, I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
It'll be fine.
It's
It'll be
it's
just
always
fine.
it's always
Totally
fun.
cool.
Is my sound quality okay?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Okay, all right. I worry with these headphones.
You're fine.
I know. Very, very fine. All right. So, Eridu is much more chipper than I think he was the last time we saw him. But yeah, it seems like he's embracing this whole let's go somewhere else and do something that's not so heavy. I and he's having a good time with it. He's teaching a halfling woman how to speak Elven. He promised to lend her some of his books. Um, there might be romantic feelings involved, but maybe not necessarily by Eridu. Um, I might have made a serious misjudgment on age the last game. She's an adult. That is important.
Yeah.
Look,
I said that. I was watching the video. I said that.
Yeah,
specifically.
no, you said. I know you said that.
Asa wasn't
Look,
listening.
Eridu's
as
just.
you do.
We all know that Eridu's just gonna sleep his way through the Silent Sea.
I
and-
think Eridu is just going to sleep his way through this entire game.
Yep.
If there is a character who has genitals, Eridu will probably sleep with them.
Oh, so he's like Captain Kirk, pretty much.
Kind of, yeah. I
I'd
think
go
that's
with
a.
what's the one from Doctor Who? Captain.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah, Captain Jack. Yeah,
He definitely
Yeah,
is much
Captain
more
Jack
like
Harkness.
Jack. Yeah.
yeah.
Kirk's
Kirk's pretty particular. Captain Jack Harkness, not so much.
exactly.
I know that
Anyway.
the way most of our schemes go, I was thinking more Zap Brannigan, but
There you go. There you go. Classic Zap.
Yeah.
Eridu's extracurriculars aside, I think he is taking this moment as a restart, and he's really embracing it. There are several things that I have not put a cap on with Eridu yet, i.e., drug addiction and having to deal with the loss of a close friend. These things haven't been resolved, and I won't resolve things like that off screen. So I'm excited to see what happens next, where our group therapy goes in game,
Oh,
and
yeah.
what Eridu will do with the things put in front of him. Maybe who Eridu will do? That's a question we can go back to again if we want to.
All will come in time.
All right, cool. Let's get started. Let's be done with that.
Okay. So, if everybody's ready.
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay, cool. So, it is where we left off. It is about 6 o'clock at night. Two of you have been healed. Are you guys all just kind of going back to the respective hosts' homes, or is there anything else that you would like to do?
I think we'd go. I would go back to respective host home.
Okay.
Yeah, Eigner, in celebration, is going to try and track down whatever the local, spirits may
Agner's
be
getting
like.
drunk. We all know
Eigner's
where
getting
this is
drunk.
going.
I'm trying to like put it into. He's gonna try and get a nice bottle of whatever it is that these halflings drink when they are trying to celebrate something, because Eigner's life has been saved, essentially, and
Okay.
he's trying to celebrate.
So let me just make sure that this is okay. So you go and you were with who were you with? You were with let me go find my thing really quick. You
I really can't remember.
He was with the oldest daughter. I don't
Oh,
know her
like
name.
who I was staying with? Yeah, I was staying with Thea.
you all those. Oh yeah, you were saying okay. So you're with Thea.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said.
So okay, so yeah, you're so you ask Thea what there is to drink.
What is it that your people drink when you're trying to celebrate a very good time?
She says, well, our most common drink that people drink here is a lot of rum based drinks.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're one of our main exports is sugar,
I see.
and so it plays a lot into our alcohol. A side note, rum is a sugar based.
Yeah. I would like to find a bottle of the darkest rum on this island.
Okay. She takes you to one of the bars. You don't know what the name of it is because it's all in halfling.
Yeah.
But she takes you in, and you go in, and it looks like a bar.
Okay.
So you begin the process of getting. How drunk do you plan on getting?
I would like to just take a bottle to go.
Just take a bottle to go?
I would like to take a bottle to go. I would like to...
Of, like, the good stuff?
Yeah, the good stuff.
Okay, that'll be 1 gold.
I will...
Good stuff.
Oh, well, I will throw 5 gold to pay for the bottle, and then I will order a round for the house, and then leave.
Okay. Everybody was already like paying attention to you because you're, a big person in their little island or in their little town, and all of a sudden you just bought everyone a drink. So everyone is like has been. Okay, so Alton is a far traveler in your worlds. He's a curiosity, and you guys haven't quite seen it per se, but like a lot. But like there are people, especially like scholars and nobles and whatnot, who are always very interested in him. And it's the opposite for you here. You're the far traveler here. You're the curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
So you were already a curiosity coming in, and you willing to buy a lot of alcohol for people because it's not that big of a bar, and that's going to pretty much last everyone the rest of the night.
All right.
So.
Well,
Hey,
What?
Take that ring off. Be much more of a curiosity.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You want to see a curiosity?
You're going to be a disruption to the economy for a couple of days.
Understandable. Understandable. Well, yeah, just quote me a price for, like, I already got the 5 gold for the bottle. Quote me a price for a round for the house.
No, it's 1 gold for the bottle.
No, but I'm tipping him hardcore. I'm throwing 5 gold for the bottle. It's like, because he's like, 1 gold, psh, take it. Psh, 5 gold. You know what? Round for the house. You know what?
Okay, 1 round for the house. Good stuff or cheap stuff?
Good stuff. Top shelf for my halfling brothers.
Okay, there's probably a good 20 people, so another 2 gold.
Another 2 gold?
Yeah.
So 7 gold for the whole thing? Psh.
Yeah.
Down.
It's alcohol.
Super
It's
down.
not.
Yeah,
like if you
well, I
bear in
know.
mind, a gold is a day's worth of living.
Oh, for sure. Well, I'm stacked, brother.
So
I'm stacked. So
it's just alcohol.
as everyone gets their drinks, I raise up my new dark bottle of rum, and I propose a toast, and I say, "To my kindest, littlest halfling brothers and sisters, your life is glorious, and you've shared that glory with me. To you, to us, moving
And then
forward."
Hurrah!
Hurrah! Take a big swig, and then I'll just stumble out. Just stumble out and just, yeah, very happy.
Okay. Is there Eridu? Is there or not Eridu? Onn? Is there anything else that you plan on doing for the night? Are you exploring town? Are you going shopping? Are you anything in particular?
Yes.
Do you want to go to the sewers?
No. On is going to have a look at the general wildlife, the flora and fauna of the island, and just take a nighttime stroll around, see what the nightlife is like, ignoring the rowdy bars and things,
Right.
but looking at what nighttime birds, insects, flowers, and things. He's never really had much of an interest in nature before, but certainly with the druids around Twin Harbors and everything, just things seem to be leading back to the Feywilds and nature and stuff. So he wants to see what's going on with the sun at sea. What's the nature like around here?
Okay, so there's coastal areas, there's forest areas, and you see like mountains off in the distance, but they're not on this island. But there's like mostly like foresty plains areas and like coastal areas nearby. Is there any particular spot that you want to walk around, or?
Well, I suppose the coastal areas would be quite different from the coast that Twin Harbor occupies, given the difference.
Yeah, it's much more tropical. Like even though it's in the same around the same. Oh man, I think latitude's the up and down.
Sure.
It's
We'll
like
say yes.
okay,
Just
the
say
one
that.
that's like 45 degrees latitude is like basically actually where I live. It's the one like in between the equator and the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
I think is latitude, whichever one that one is. So even though they're actually at similar latitudes,
Yeah, latitude is the north-south position between the poles.
yeah.
Thank you.
Even though they're similar latitudes, the Silent Sea is much more tropical in nature. So you have more things like sea snails, and you have like tropical fish in the area, and you have like water salamanders and stuff like that, and you have like crabs kind of things. Just your general kind of closer to tropical, kind of basic tropical, and you have like little birds that go down and like pick at the like dead things. You do notice that there are no big birds. Only like things like basically the size of like sparrows and whatnot. It's like no seagulls or whatever, or pelicans.
Okay. What I'll do then is I'll spend a good chunk of the evening, as it's getting darker and darker, wandering around, getting a close look at some of these creatures, watching how the animals move around, spending time near the water, watching these shoals of fish moving around and stuff. Ooh, do we get any bioluminescence or anything? Or?
There is a reef off in the distance, in between. So I'm gonna have to actually do a screen share for you guys.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Oh wait, let me get the things off of here. Screen
Okay.
share away.
Screen share away. Screen share away. Okay, I wonder if I can annotate this. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah, I can see your cursor.
I can, yeah.
Okay, so right around here-ish is there's like a reef, so it's kind of like it's just like in the middle
Which island are we on?
somewhere. This is the map itself of the islands.
Yeah, but which island are we on currently?
We are on this island right here.
Okay.
The city that we're at is about right here-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, it's not close by, it's off in the distance, but it's a glowing reef, and reefs are not exactly known for being small. So you see like a little bit off in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Dope.
Yeah, so that's what now you can put everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where it is. It's off in the distance, so you can see it, but it's not. To you, it's almost like a like someone left a nightlight on in like at the end of the block.
Okay. Just sort of this
Mhm.
dull sort of
Yeah.
glow.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to play about for a bit. Use my gust and mold earth cantrips a little bit to sort of like move some food towards the birds and so just really study how they're moving around. And then after I've had my fill of that for a few hours, had my little Pocahontas fun gully moment, I'll head back to what was her name now?
Thea.
Teresa? Thea. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll head back to Thea's.
Okay, cool. And you do so. It looks like everybody's kind of going down for the night. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And
just like passed out in the living room or something.
Oh, who, Eigner?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's not passed out, but he's definitely, like, not very, normal.
so he's like not quite passed out, but he's like still face first in the couch.
No, just more like he's able to talk to people, but you've never really seen him like this before. He's just acting like very
Gotcha.
out of character, and he's like a lot more friendly and a lot more gregarious than he regularly is. You know,
Okay.
doing that typical thing like, "On, have I ever told you how much I appreciate your magic?
No, you have not, Eigner.
It's wonderful. It's so wonderful, and I don't get it. But it's great, and you're great."
Thank you for appreciating it. I think that perhaps there's something wrong with the rum here.
It's so good. It's so dark. Look, it's fine. Just,
Uh-huh.
it's really
Well,
sweet.
It certainly seems potent. Are you going to be alright, Eigner?
I think so. I feel awesome right now.
I'm going to turn and walk towards wherever my sleeping quarters happen to be. But as I do so, I'm going to wave my hand and make a gust of wind, blow some cool air into Agnes' face, which he'll either appreciate or get flustered about. I'm not sure which, and I don't think Onn really cares at this point in time.
Oh no, he gets flustered and he drops the bottle, and but the thing is that he doesn't even like register that that could have been on at all. He just thinks like, oh god, I am too drunk.
Will of the gods.
Will of the gods. So that's probably a sign that Eigner will get to sleep.
Okay.
So there's no like quarters for you guys. Like so they like I said in the society they have basically the number of people equals the number of bedrooms in the houses that they stay, and as their situations change, they move. So she is single, so she has one bedroom that is hers, and being a very practical person is very structured and order like. She does not give up her room for you guys. Plus, her bed's way too small for you guys. It would be less comfortable than sleeping on the floor. So I will let you guys decide who takes the tiny couch and who takes the floor.
Oh, tiny couch is not gonna work for Eigner at all, and he with how drunk he is, he's gonna be quite comfortable just splaying out on the floor.
Okay.
Oh, since I only need to meditate, I shall cross my legs and meditate on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
as would Eridu. Oh, he probably would. I don't remember the name of his hosts, but he probably would engage in
hi.
conversation. Okay, probably would engage with conversation for a bit, um, and then at a certain point, when it gets late and conversation seems to no longer be happening, because other people would like to go to sleep, he will sit and meditate.
Well, it's just the two of you. He also is currently single.
Yeah.
They're not. Halflings live a little bit longer, so they're never in a huge hurry to get married kind of situation.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like Alton is around the same age as the rest of his siblings, except for the youngest.
Mhm.
Kind of like when you have like your one all your children are like all the children are like 18, 19, 20, and then the youngest is like 4 kind of situation where it's like, oh, we know what happened there. That's kind of one of those situations.
So all these halflings are like in their 50s, and then she's like 30.
Yeah, basically. Like, yeah, they're like in their 50s or 60s, and she's like 30. Yeah, basically.
Well, I would think Eridu would get to talk, just chatting about general customs and the history of the islands and such, and slowly conversation would lead itself toward the ways that they memorialize their dead.
Okay. Okay. Would you like to know that information, or just?
I mean, not if it doesn't seem relevant to the story. It's just where his conversation is going at the moment.
It's not necessarily relevant towards the conversation, but you can like, as a player, you can imagine that, basically think of Lord of the Rings, and that's kind of how you would assume.
They're a seafaring society, so they like send their dead off to the sea. Okay.
Or like, well, like more like, oh yeah, they would probably do that because they're seafaring, but like it's like things are celebrations and parties and like, you know, memorials. Halflings don't view death as the same way that others did. So okay. If that's everything, then in the next morning, you guys, everybody wakes up. Eigner obviously is
got a pounding headache.
Yeah, less awake than everybody else.
Oh yeah, man, sugar hangovers suck.
Sugar hangover.
For real. Thea's gone. Thea's already gone. And you guys wake up probably. Well, Eridu, probably what time, or not Eridu, Onn, what time do you think that you would wake up?
Well, I don't only spend about 4 hours meditating, so I'd probably be getting up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then pottering about, wandering around, checking out people's belongings, standing over Eigner while he sleeps.
Putting Eigner's hand in a bowl of warm water.
I will say, unless you choose to wake up Eigner, he won't wake up until probably closer to like 10.
Easily.
Okay. Yeah, I won't wake him up.
Okay.
It'll be weird, like filming on. It'll just be like those paranormal activity things where it's just like him standing still for like 3
hours. Eridu?
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, what do you so you wake up or you kind of end your trance about what time?
Probably early. Yeah, I mean the conversation probably lasted till well into the night. We probably didn't go to bed until 1, 2 in the morning. So I'm probably out of trance around the 6 o'clock hour. In which case, probably not bothering to dress. Eridu will go and walk through the area, through the local area, and just get an idea. It's kind of like Onn did with like getting to know the nature of
The
city.
wildlife you're doing with the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wouldn't be naked, but he definitely would not be well clothed.
Right. Okay. So for you, there are 6 o'clock in the morning. You do see some people. Markets are opening, like grocery markets
Mhm.
are opening. Tea shops. Fruit stand. I mean, fruits and vegetable stands. Blah blah blah. Stuff like that. You see, you walk by a larger marketplace, like not just a little stand, but like a larger marketplace, and you see Thea opening up
Mhm.
the larger marketplace, and you see Joe and Eldon kind of heading in that direction as well. So, like, off from their home, away from their home.
Those were the parents, right?
Yeah. Joe and Eldon are the parents.
Oh. I'll just walk up to Thea and casually, in a non-invasive way, understanding she's working, say, Alton never mentioned that his family ran a market. This is very interesting.
Yeah, he's not one for sharing, is he?
Well, not at all.
Yeah, we have a family market. Well, I say family market. It's just my mom, my dad, and I. Seraphine is training to be a doctor.
Yes, she mentioned
Bree is in sanitation. And Ty is in the trades. He works down as the docks as in import-export trades.
that. No. So your family definitely does quite a bit around this area.
Yeah.
Is this normal? Do all families essentially run everything? With all of you covering many different markets?
So I would say it depends on each of their interests. Um, my my family is, when I was growing up, my family was starting to get this market up and going, and they asked me to help them out kind of getting it going, and I just kind of eventually became the de facto business manager while they were the face of the store.
Oh.
So but usually you have most people just kind of work and make sure that things are as they should be.
Oh. Very interesting.
Yeah. And as they walk by, or as you finish that up, Eldon and Joe kind of walk by, and they wave to you, and they kind of just duck in through the door.
Yeah, I give them a polite nod, and it seems like you have a lot of work to do. I will let you be on your way.
Okay. And she goes, "Oh, thank you, and I will see you probably in a few days."
Yes. That's right, because we got that thing to do, don't we?
Yep. So she bids you adieu, and you are free to move on and explore. Is there anything that you want? Is there anything else that you are specifically looking for? Or you just kind of
No, just looking around, getting to know. I mean, he'll stop and chat with people, and it's just. I mean, this is. I'm kind of living vicariously through what I would do if I just had no responsibilities. I would just walk through like downtown areas and talk to people. Just
okay.
check things out.
You do that. Everyone seems to be, again, you guys are a foreign entity, so people, if you were to literally take the far traveler background, that's you guys right now. so everybody is enjoying that curiosity of you.
Yeah.
And so they're talking to you. They're very friendly. You don't seem to be imposing a threat. You're not carrying any weapons. You don't have any armor. You know, they would be probably more suspicious of Eigner than if Eigner were walking around with weapons and armor than you.
Yeah.
Even though you
Eigner's buying everyone drinks. No one's suspicious of him.
This is true. This is true. And I mean, they probably, some of them probably would. The groggier ones would probably be much more like, you know, talking about that, you know, like much more friendly to you than to Eridu than everybody else. Or than everybody else. You see bakers and armorers, and you see an enchanting shop. You see towards the end of town, you see like a blacksmith and a tanner. Whenever you look at, you can see where Alton's armor and weapons come from. They're very stylized in his. His is unusual where you guys are at. It all has that like faux ancient Greek look. Here. So Alton is not out of place here where he is everywhere else for those that are wearing them. Yeah. So, what else is? Yeah, and there's out in the distance you see, like, so there's a docks, and it looks like there are fishing, like there are fishing boats out in the distance, and all sorts of things.
All right.
Okay. So after you get up 10 o'clock because Eigner is sleeping it off, everybody meets up with Alton at his parents' house, and you guys are ready to go if you like.
Yeah. When Eigner sees Alton and Alton says like literally anything, like the first sentence, Eigner will be like, "Alton, please, 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 for once you're talking too loud. Please, just I usually don't like it when you do telepathy, but maybe that'll hurt less if you do that." Yeah.
Alton gives a grin. It's a friendly grin. But, like, all of a sudden you hear shouting in your mind.
Oh, that's worse. That's even worse.
Just that, like in that kind of he has that friendly grin of like, oh, you're gonna regret this, and it's gonna be hilarious. And no one else knows why you're just like if you're not literally doing it, but it looks like you're just bleeding from the eyes, from the thing.
I'm just not happy.
Yeah,
not happy
exactly.
in the slightest.
So, Alton smiles and just kind of gives you a wink and doesn't say anything else.
And I'll give him a glare.
Glare. So, you guys ready?
As ready as I'm ever gonna be.
Well,
Okay.
Eridu has put on clothes, so yeah.
Okay, and then quick reminder, you guys have access to like your swords and your armor and any like spell casting components or whatever that you need, but you do not have access to rations or whatchamacallit, like tools. You do have musical instruments,
Mm-hmm.
If you like want to play a musical instrument.
Okay.
But that's it.
Daggers. Can I
Huh?
get my dagger?
Daggers
Yeah.
are weapons, so you're fine.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
Anything that you need to defend yourself, you can use. I'm not gonna make you take it off of your character sheet. Just you know that you can't use, like, if you have rope, you can't take rope with you.
Okay.
Yeah, Eridu is the only thing really different is instead of wearing an elaborate, nice outfit, he's just put on a rather plain, thick cloak, like robe.
Mhm.
And that's really it. So it's a lot different than his flashy clothes. But he doesn't have anything else that he's carrying with him aside from that.
Okay. So okay, cool. So Alton leads you along the path, and as he's walking along, and he says, "Okay, so I don't actually know what these trials are, or I don't know what the trials are. I just came by and set it up with those that are in charge of that to establish the trials. So unfortunately, like, this isn't a I have an answer, and if we get stuck situation, this is I am in it as much as you are, and no one will be around to help us."
Great. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we'll take care of it all by ourselves. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yes, just
They're,
fine.
they're usually good about gauging, like making it that right capacity for our skill sets to make it challenging, but not, not too hard, not too easy. And so
Very well.
that's their job.
Have you spoken to anyone who has completed these trials?
Yeah, this is not designed to be unwinnable. This is not the myth of the Kobayashi Maru. This is people complete it all the time. It's just challenging.
Interesting cross-reference.
It was not to
I mean, the
That was-
Kobayashi Maru, the famous battle over 2,000 years ago.
It's definitely
And
what
it was an unwinnable situation.
Sure.
there are stories of someone who won the Kobayashi Maru. Just saying, they're out there.
That's why it's the myth of the Kobayashi Maru. Because I've heard too that it was a trial and not just a battle.
If this turns out to be like some post Star Trek future,
I mean, Josh has been talking about how he wants to get some Star Trek adventures going on here, so this might be the By the way,
Rings
just
of
so you know,
War. This is pretty cool.
this is all post Star Trek. This is after the Federation falls and we go into an apocalyptic downslide.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Suddenly
I
now
just
it's
love me some
fantasy
references.
we find the Enterprise buried under a mountain.
Right? Oh man.
Okay,
Wow.
so yeah. So
You mean all the elves were actually Vulcan all along? Oh.
Okay, gavel, gavel, gavel. Let's. So you guys get to another set of docks that are closer, like even more, much closer to that open area where the reefs are. And you are able to. There are some docks and there are some people kind of waiting for you. And Alton approaches them and he kind of gives them a deferential nod and shakes their hand and says, "These are, these are my friends. This is Eridu, this is Onn, and this is Eigner. And there are three of them, and they seem to be pleased with meeting you. They say it's nice to meet you. Alton gave us a detailed description of what you guys can do, and we think that we've crafted a well-designed set of trials for you.
Very well. I look forward to facing your challenges. Eigner,
Okay.
it seems like every word that he says is kind of giving him a little pang of pain. Just a little bit like, well, it, yes, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Okay. And then they point off to one of the boats. It is a like a rowboat. There are no sails.
Ah,
It can seat 6 people. So you obviously don't need to use 4 of them, but you guys are you're gonna need to use your muscles to get there.
very well. Eigner will take a side and he will point at Alton and say, Alton, you must be opposite me. Otherwise, our rowboat is not going to go in a straight line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess so, huh? I'm not that strong either, so hopefully,
You're a sight stronger than our other
than everyone
companions.
else. Okay,
I wish I could do it all
That's true.
myself.
that's true. You bring up some very valid points. So,
If you're strong enough, Eigner, you do it yourself.
You
Right.
know,
Okay.
I thought I was.
are we going to go in the front or the back?
I'm not sure which one would be the best. Maybe the back? I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So then, Eridu or Eigner and Alton are in the back row. Where would you, or Onn and Eridu, would you like to go in the middle or the front?
Front, probably, to balance it out.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to go at the front with Eridu, or do I need to go in the middle?
I think you need to go in the middle on the same side as Eridu and Eigner. Then we'll
Okay.
just be going left.
No.
You would match on the other side of.
No.
Okay.
It's
Opposite
you
me,
two
no.
up front, us 2 in the back, and then the boat's gonna go like that instead of like that or like that. It's gonna go like that. It's gonna go straight. So let's do, I guess, athletics checks. Is that what's up?
I was gonna do, yeah, I guess athletics, but I do want to show you once again. We're gonna go back to the map because
Map.
this will explain why this is going to be the way that it is.
Okay.
So going back to the map. Boop. Okay. So you guys, hold on. You guys were around here. You left around 10-ish or so, and then you traveled around. You would travel of like around here. These are where the docks are. This is Outlook Island, or no, Origin Island. I apologize. This is Origin Island. And so you're going to actually end up rowing kind of along the coastal or whatever, here and here and all the way up here
That's ridiculous. In a rowboat?
to about here.
Really?
Ow.
Are these like small islands?
Yeah,
or
they're
are
like
these,
small
like...
islands. They're not like I would say they're like closer to the size of like Hawaii.
Okay.
This is not a continent by any means.
All right.
That is still like
It's still quite a bit of rowing, but
lunch.
It's still right. This is a part of the trial.
Oh,
You've
dear.
got
Okay.
to. So what I'm gonna say is, you guys are going to have. Stop sharing really quick. You guys are going to, or we are all going to have to run athletics checks. the we're gonna do starting with 3, with DCs of 15, and it's gonna determine how long it takes us to row there. So, and then after the first 3, if we'll determine if we need more to make it take longer to get there. And so it'll be each one of them will be a 2-hour increment. Correct.
Okay.
Is that
No,
the
sorry, not
3
2 hours.
games?
No, probably hour and a half. That's 2 hours would make it a long time. So actually, we'll say an hour increment. Sorry, I did when I was thinking about it, I didn't think about how ridiculous that would be. So each one is an hour increment.
Okay, so should we roll like individually?
We all roll individually for each time.
Yeah,
So
but I
it's
mean, like,
equal
do you want me
15.
to do my 3 right now and tell you the numbers?
Yeah, go ahead. We can
Alright.
we can go ahead and do all 3. So run the first 3 and then give me one each of you, and we'll decide.
Okay.
It's time
So
to roll.
it's time to roll some athletics checks to see
Yeah.
how okay we are at rowing. Okay, so my
So we'll start
first-
with Eigner.
yeah. So my first one is a total of 22.
Okay.
My second one is a total of 14, and then
Okay.
my third one. Oh my goodness, Eigner's getting tired. My third one's a total of 9. Oh.
Okay.
He like started off
Uh,
strong, and then the hangover really set in.
Yeah, really set
really
in. So
set in.
on, it's your turn.
I start with a 4.
These are going to go terribly for
Oh
us.
wow, great start.
And then on my second, I got a 16,
Okay.
and then I get a 4 again.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm off to a great start with a 3,
Okay.
and then a 10,
Okay.
and lastly a 18.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
I did okay, and then I sucked, and then On did okay, and then he sucked, and then Eridu did okay. So
Oh, I mean, we started off terribly.
yeah, no, we're starting off bad. We're bad.
yeah, this is not going to be great. Okay. So 15, 19, 3. Okay. So, that's a grand total of what? 4 successes.
5 successes.
5
Because you
successes?
got 2, and we each got 1 success
Okay. Yeah. Give me 2 more
each.
each.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, Eigner got a natural 20, so that's a 26, and then he got a total of 10.
Okay.
I got a 3 and a 9.
Okay.
Hold on, there it is.
Got a 12,
And
then a 3.
okay.
No, I rolled the 3. I got a 2.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so we are now at a grand total of 7 because I'm going to count the natural 20 as 2 successes. So we are now at a grand total of 7. So now give me another 1. That puts us at 6 hours, and after this we start
6.
hitting
Exhaustion.
6. Yeah.
Like that's probably exactly what's gonna happen. We're just becoming exhausted over this. All right, I got 18.
I got
18?
8.
14.
14. Natural 20.
There we go.
So we stave off exhaustion.
Whew, just
Because
barely.
we hit 10. We just barely, because I wanted 10 successes.
Okay.
So it took us the full 4 hours to get there. And it was just kind of with Eigner being hungover and On and Eridu not really being known for their strength. Everybody was just pushing themselves, and it was just slow moving. It just like a lot of extra work and not a lot of extra movement. So you guys get there, but it's in time, so no one suffers any points of exhaustion.
That was close.
Yeah.
I was worried.
Me too.
So you guys get on the island, and there is a very obvious path.
Mhm.
And so you start traveling the path.
Eigner, who is usually concerned with taking point and really being kind of the all-around like scout kind of leader dude, at this time he is not concerned with that at all. There's the obvious path, and his head is really hurting. He think he like almost threw his back out just there. That natural 20 really did a number on him. And yeah, so he's really just hanging back, and he's being grumpy, and he's being really grumpy. He's just kind of like grumbling to himself, and just yeah, taking it a little slow.
Okay. And what marching order?
Egner's in the back. Yeah.
Ignor's in the back.
I'll go near the front.
Okay, near the front. Eridu, do you have a preference? Do you want to be in the front or just in front of Onn?
I'm trying to decide what Eridu's motivations are going to be in this moment. Whether I'm going to be people-driven or nature-driven. Because I'm tossed up between, just kind of walking and watching everything, or if I need to actually, like, respond to people. I think it's become pretty obvious to Eridu through the exhausting but not quite exhausting boat trip exactly how hungover Eigner is. And so I think out of concern, he'll stay close. I'll probably be, if not next to Eigner, just a little bit ahead, kind of keeping an eye on him.
Okay, it's not there's no way you could put two horses by side, but two people could easily do it.
Yeah.
Down the path. It's obvious that this is not a path designed for it's kind of like in Buddhist temples or whatever. Like part of the purpose is the journey, So you take 1,000 steps to get up, and that's part of the journey, or that's part of the process of the entire experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, then Alton is going to go up front. Everybody who has proficiency in perception except for Eigner, because he is hungover. Give me 2 perception checks.
I'm just grumbling and being upset, and my head hurts. And why do we have to walk so long, anyways? And there's
16 and 7.
Okay.
During my second one, I started listening to Eigner just complaining and just reminding him, it is not about how we get. This journey is what we should be focusing on, Eigner. You're in a beautiful place.
There's too many huge bugs. There's just too many huge, enormous, gross bugs.
But Eigner, you're wearing full armor. It doesn't matter. They can't bite you anyway.
They're disgusting.
Okay, On?
I got an 18 and a 6.
They're beautiful things, Eigner. Everything in life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Continue to have this conversation until the GM tells me to stop.
It doesn't look very beautiful right now to me.
You guys, this is a somewhat long trip. It's probably an hour-ish, I rolled a 24 and a 22. So nothing seems, Alton is keeping his head on a swivel. This is his job. is to keep an eye out. He's up front, and he's kind of the ranger, so this is his job, is to keep an eye out on everything. And so, yeah, he keeps nothing. It's obvious that he's looking, but nothing has popped out at him. He hasn't like stopped and freaked out. So, so no problems.
Okay. Just to be clear, with the time of the day and how much time has passed, is probably like 4 o'clock ish at this point.
Yeah. So it took us 6 hours. We left it. Well, no. Okay. So it probably took about 2 hours to walk. So that's 12. 6 hours to boat.
Oh, okay.
6.
So we're like almost to sundown, pretty much.
7 o'clock is about.
Yeah. So we should be considering where we're gonna camp out.
Well, you at the hour you come across a worn down temple. And in it, like, it's open, and it looks kind of like I mean, the way that Greek or Roman temple or architecture looks like now, where a lot of pieces are missing, except for they haven't been trying to refurbish. What's what I'm looking for? Not refurbish, but
restore.
Restore it. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. They haven't tried to restore. They're allowing the natural beauty of these ruins to maintain. They do, however, it's not overrun with plants, so they maintain the area. But if they're not trying to restore it, it is obvious that they are allowing time to stay as it should. So yeah, there's this like kind of very large open area. It has, pillars of various heights and destruction and no roof. And there is an altar on one end, a rather long one, and then in kind of the center there are no benches or whatever, but in the center there is a like a cauldron, like what's the word, like the big cauldron altars. I forget what they're called. They're like the big bowls, like the big saucery bowls.
Oh,
I forget what they're called all of a sudden.
A wok?
So, huh?
We're gonna cook some food or something.
So there's
Is that
one of
what's going
those.
on?
There's some wood in there. That's kind of piled up. That's like ready for to be burned, and there are basic sleeping supplies there. So you have like bedrolls and like pillows and whatnot. There are 4 of them set up there.
Okay.
the only reference I can find to it is just a basin.
Basin. Sure.
Basin.
It's a basin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
So Eigner's just gonna walk right up to this temple situation, notice the beds, notice the fire ready to go, and he just turns to everyone else and says, "Now regularly, I would look at this as some sort of crazy trap, but unfortunately right now my head hurts too much, and I simply don't care if it is or not. So I think I might just get some rest. Onn, could you start this fire? That would be really nice for me right now."
I would, only I am currently without my tinderbox.
You can do something, right? I just told you last night how amazing your magic is.
You did.
I did.
And
Okay, fine. I can do without. I should lay down.
Are any one of you guys proficient in nature or survival?
I am.
not proficient.
I'm proficient in survival.
Okay, then you can attempt to light the fire.
You gotta do something right. You gotta do it yourself. And I'll get a 13.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yay!
Not high DC. Yeah.
While you're trying to light that fire, I'll be examining Eigner's armor. Eigner, I don't wish to worry you, but earlier when Eridu pointed out that the bugs couldn't hurt you because of your armor, might I offer an observation? Your armor doesn't really offer that kind of protection. If an insect were to crawl inside of your armor, which you could easily do through several of the gaps, it would be very difficult for you to remove said insect, in fact.
Ugh, Onn, why do you have to tell me these things? You always tell me things that I don't want to hear.
Oh. I'm terribly sorry, I thought it was rather useful and interesting information.
No, that's something I don't want to hear. And I guess it's a moot point now because he starts taking his armor off. I can't sleep in my armor, so I'll just have bugs all over me.
I mean, you have like blankets and whatnot, like, so you're not like, you're not like sleeping out in the open. Like this is, you know.
For sure. He's still
I
creeped
will
out.
I will, for the sake of just brevity, this feels like a safe space. It doesn't, like, there's just something about it that makes you trust everybody can sleep. If there's anyone with Arcana, you can proficiency in Arcana, you can
Try to figure out why.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yes, I will try to figure out why. I get a 17.
Okay. You go around and you look and just to see why you feel that way, and there are enchantments that indicate that there are spells, series of spells that that are wards for this area.
General
So
protection.
that allow non-aggressive, or that allow those that are supposed to be there, and those that are not.
Mm-hmm.
So anything with malicious intent doesn't make it in. Those that are there for the purpose of respite are allowed in, no problem.
I'm going to shimmy over towards Alton and Eridu while Agner's getting undressed, and just sort of muse in their company. If we were to place a spider within the armor of Eigner, there would be a spider within Eigner in two ways.
Alton laughs genuinely, like in a way that like he's no longer trying to look down on Onn, but he's like genuinely accepting of Onn now.
I made a funny.
Yeah.
Was that a Splinter reference?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Of course it was. Thank you for getting it.
Normally I would refrain from poking it on Eigner while he's in such a delicate state, but right now I feel like that is exactly the kind of thing he needs.
Are you gonna try to find a spider?
Let's go find a spider.
Okay. Both of you go roll survival checks.
I want to do a stealth check because I'm going to sneak up. Oh, it's not going to matter.
The spider.
I got a 14.
Ooh. I got a not sucky thing. What was it? Survival?
Yeah.
11.
It takes you about the better part of an hour and a half, but you do find a spider.
That's a long time to look for a spider out in the wild.
Hour and a half well spent.
I mean, you're looking for a spider. You're not in familiar territory.
Oh, no, I
You
get
don't
it.
even know what the spiders look like. You got to find
What
out.
does it look like?
Hope isn't deadly.
Is it
It's
crazy?
going to take you some long time.
I want to know what
Okay.
the spider looks like. Describe it. Describe it in
The spider is it is a like a brownish color spider. probably like more like a tarantula than an actual spider. It doesn't look deadly to you. There are no hallmarks of deadly spiders or deadly tarantulas or what. I don't even think tarantulas are deadly, but it doesn't have any of the hallmarks that you would know of. You could
Right.
roll a nature check to see if you have better, but as
Oh
far as you
no, I don't have the knowledge to know that.
yeah.
I will, however, use my cunning monk skills to capture it in my
Okay.
hands.
Then go ahead and give me just a dexterity.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. That would then be a 19.
Okay, yeah, you captured.
So I like close my hands and I've got my little finger cage and I'm just
Yeah.
whispering calmly to it. Don't worry, little spider. We're just going to put you inside of my friend's armor. It'll be a new place for you to live. There'll be plenty of bugs in there, I'm sure. You'll have a great time.
It's tensing, but it's not biting.
I put it into his armor.
So as you get to the temple, the both of you poof, hit an invisible force.
Did you do this on accident, On?
I may very well have done. If so, I do apologize. I do hope they can breathe in there. Alton,
Yeah.
are you all right? Can you breathe okay?
Yeah, perfectly fine.
Oh good. I seem to have caused a bit of a mishap. It seems. We seem unable to enter the temple grounds.
Did you go get that spider?
Did I go and get that spider? No, I did not go and get that spider.
Did you guys go get that spider?
The collective appears to have collected the spider, yes.
You can't enter a place with malicious intent.
Oh.
Who defines a prank as malicious intent?
Look, I'm not the one that developed it, but malicious intent, it does include attacks, and knowingly attacking somebody with a spider is malicious intent.
Ugh. I am sorry, my little spider friend. All my promises to you about a happy life inside of metal armor is a farce. Be free. Find other bugs to eat.
Okay. The spider kind of scurries off in a direction. It actually very weirdly, like, because you just set it down you just set it down in front of you, or do you set it down behind you?
Behind me.
Okay, so then it just scurries off in that direction.
Yeah.
If you had actually set it off in front of you, just like a little bit of funny, if you'd set it off in front of you, it would have actually ran through
Yeah.
and ran out the other side, because it has no malicious intent.
Right. No, I figured that much.
Yeah.
All this time I
So-
thought I had made a new friend, but no.
Yeah. Okay, so nice. While you guys are out, Alton went out and with a natural 20 brought back a bunch of food. And so you guys have plentiful food. Like meat. He like went and there's like various small like lizards and forest creatures and fruits and stuff like that. That are like fruits and berries and whatnot that are available now to you guys.
Yeah.
And the meats are being cooked currently.
Well, it is about that time. I think that I should eat.
Okay.
And, now I want to go find more spiders.
You seem to have found yourself an affinity for the creatures.
Yeah, but they're very interesting. I mean, the fact that I caught this one in my bare hands and it made no attempt to defend itself is quite fascinating.
You just got it faster than it could react, and it didn't have. Yeah.
It seems maybe I have learned a lesson about these insects, that they have a very freeze-based defensive mentality I'm sure the fight and flight is there, but when you take those things away, they just hold and do nothing.
I will let you have your assumptions because you would need to roll a nature check to determine that.
Of course.
I did once
Yeah.
in Twin Harbors encounter a child playing with the spider. And I'll mention the story as we're walking towards the food, sort of involve everyone in
Yeah.
the tale being told. And it did a most curious thing. It constantly tried to escape the child. It kept trying to poke it with a stick. But as the child kept gathering it up and replacing it before him, poking it with a stick, and it kept running away, gathered it up, replaced it. Eventually, it curled up into itself. It was still alive, but pretended to be dead. It's a behavior that I'd not seen in many other animals. They either tend to devise a strategy and stick with it, rather than alter their strategies over time. It was rather curious, and it proved to ultimately be to the spider's benefit. The child grew bored with a non-moving creature and moved on, leaving the spider to move of its own accord after a few moments.
What interesting creatures, more humans and the others, that we would find the time to poke at a spider for our own entertainment, only to move on once the thing has bored us.
Eigner will be taking small little pieces of meat and just taking little nibbles. And when he speaks, it obviously seems like he's still pained in his head.
Oh, I thought you went to
He's,
sleep.
Well, I mean, he tried, but then the food smell kind of woke him up, so he's just very groggily eating
Right.
and listening and not really chiming in. But after Eridu says that, he just says that spiders know so much more than we do.
I imagine they know many things we do not, just as I know many things that you do not, Edgar, and yet you also know many things that I do not.
True enough. Apparently, I know how to drink an entire bottle of rum.
I would argue that you do not know how to drink an entire bottle of rum, given your current state.
Still alive, aren't I?
I mean, I know how to play with a sword and not kill myself. That does not make me a master.
It is true that alcohol is, in fact, a poison. The fact that Eigner imbibed as such and survived is testament to his constitution.
Yes. That on is exactly what I wanted to hear.
I will attest to that. One's continuous need to poison oneself to build up a tolerance to said poison seems to be something that Agner has become proficient at.
And many often do so. However, there are the occasional individuals that decide to take it a tad too far. I recall a tale of a dwarven king once. He decided to imbibe small amounts of a metal that was liquid at the temperature of a room. By imbibing small amounts, he hoped to achieve immortality. He certainly achieved a level of it, as the tale is shared even now. I believe this is a story that Okrim told me on one of our journeys. But no, eventually he did die. Poison apparently catches up with one.
Ah.
Well, as we are now still telling his story, I'm sure that he has achieved some form of immortality, as you said.
Is that what you seek, Eigner? To pickle your insides so as to achieve a modicum of immortality?
To be honest, Onn, I hadn't even thought about that. But when you say it like that, it sounds brilliant.
I promise, Agner, that once you have drunken yourself to death, I will tell stories of you, and you will forever live on in those stories.
You are too kind to me, Eridu.
Okay. Alton is very quietly, as is his ways to be quiet, but instead of judging you. He is amused by this story, like, but not again, like not in a judging way, but he is taking in the revelry in the only way that he knows how to currently. So he is still quiet, but he is not. He's not being a jerk.
Okay, well, that's good.
Do you suppose that we should honor Akram's life? Give him his own sense of immortality, if you will, by speaking of him.
Yeah, I haven't thought about Akram too deeply since the memorial. But in this situation right now, all of us sitting around this very warm, very nice fire, it does make me wish that he were here and that I were hearing his voice tell the story.
Yes, this would have been a wonderful space for his tales, for his songs.
Reflect on him often. I find the concept odd. I have unfortunately caused the end of the life of a fair few. Now that I think about it, I hadn't before. I feel that perhaps if Okrim were not killed and he were still here, that he might suggest that I had only killed in self-defensory capacity. That it was either myself or the others that were to be taken. I feel that he would be far more comforting than my imagined version of Okrim would be. But I do not know if the imagined version of Okrim in my mind is in any way connected to the real Okrim. Whenever I imagine conversations with people, it tends not to be. Conversations I've imagined with you, Eridu, or you, Alton, or even yourself, Eigner. When I then speak with you physically, you all seem to have no memory of the conversations that I've imagined with you. Unless it's all some elaborate ruse that everyone is playing on me. The entire world pretending they don't know me. May in fact be the case.
I assure you, I would remember conversations I have with you. And there is no benefit to be gained in forgetting those conversations, or even pretending to have forgotten them.
I think that we all find different things important. I found that there are things that I will never forget that others can't even have a glimmer of memory of. And there are things that people won't stop talking about that I barely remember, and largely only because they bring it up frequently. I think that just it comes down to what to each of us is personally important more than what is or than to say that there is such a thing as universally important. Some exceptions aside.
Eigner's been lulled to sleep then.
Yeah.
Very easily.
I do believe that Agner's limitations as a human speak greatly towards the things that we should probably be doing right now. It has been an exhausting day. It is probably time for rest.
Okay.
Prepare ourselves for the trials to come.
Indeed.
And then so with that, you guys, or everybody, takes their respective sleeping rolls. Alton puts out the fire in the brazier. I finally remember
Brazier.
the word.
That's the word I'm looking for. Okay.
Not
Yeah.
Rizia.
Yeah.
Zia.
The brazier. So he puts out the fire in the brazier and goes to sleep. And I don't know if you guys want to do full rest or do your trances, but
Oh, Eigner's
know
fully
that it is.
He's fully resting.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the elves.
yeah,
not
for sure.
Yeah, full
Um,
rest is fine.
Okay. Because you know that you're in a protected area. So
Yeah, we know we're safe. We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Plus,
I
a full rest is a perfect opportunity to make more coffee.
exactly.
right.
So that
Okay, and
makes
it is also 1:34, so
Yeah.
it is now time to take our break.
Yep. Thanks so much for watching Winds of War. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Stick around, see the second half. What trials await our party? They're safe now, but will they be soon? Will they be safe? Will they? Only one way to find out.